D consists of France, Austria, Poland, and the Netherlands, my friend. Four really interesting teams here to round it out. Why don't we start with France?
Yeah,
why don't we just start with France?
Sure.
A team that has gone to 3 international finals in the last 8 years, led by Didier Deschamps, who has been at this team now for 12 full years and has established himself as France's premier coach, ranked number 2 in the FIFA World Rankings after coming in second at the FIFA World Cup against Argentina. This team is ridiculous.
Yeah.
This team is ridiculous. I say every time that we talk about French football, it is incredible the level of talent and the level of depth that they have right now in this moment. You have names like Kylian Mbappé, Marcus Thuram, Kolo Muani, Antoine Griezmann, Olivier Giroud, Dembele, Tchouameni, Camavinga, Saliba, Konate, Theo Hernandez, Mike Maignan.
Keep going.
Just a few names, bro. There's just a few names because I could keep going so far as to point out the exclusions that they had, which are even crazier with guys like Michael Olise not getting picked, and Nkunku not getting picked, Guendouzi, Disasi, Mateta from Crystal Palace, Moussa Diaby, man, not getting picked, Malo Gusto as well. The list just goes on for France, bro. And I even really touched on their bench, honestly. The list goes on. It truly is incredible what this team is capable of putting together when it comes to that starting 11. And it's going to be dope to see the one and only N'Golo Kante back as part of the squad.
Crazy that he got called up, but
what you mean crazy? You're not with it?
It's crazy, man, because he's just been gone for so long at club level, as far as actual impact, actual importance. But he's still a great player, and he's still playing good football in Saudi Arabia. So I actually do like that he got called up. Whether he makes a genuine playing time, I'm not so sure. But maybe we do see him. But I need to see France dramatically fail. Otherwise, they're title contenders, And the 3 out of 4 finals appearances in the last 4 major tournaments, that simple fact alone, I just can't go against that. France have been one of the best, the top international team for the last decade. And until they dramatically fail like Germany, like Spain once did, like Argentina, Brazil once did, I can't go against France. I can't. Their team is just too good. The base level of France, their starting 11, is better than 95% of all international teams. They don't even need to be in good form. They just need to show up for an international tournament, recognize the amount of talent that they have, and then they just pop off. That's what France does. It's what they've done for the last 10 to 12 years, and they're just in insanely good form. They did have a weird Euros last time out, but sandwiched in between that was 2 World Cup finals appearances, and one of them was actually winning the World Cup. So it's just like this France team is too damn good.
What happens? What happens if this time around they get kicked down to round 16 once again? What does that mean to you? 2 consecutive Euro round of 16 exits.
For me, it wouldn't mean much unless they have another bad tournament in the World Cup in 2026. I need to see consistent failure for me to be like, all right, this France team is actually on a genuine decline.
Yeah, I think I agree with that. Looking at the team and the depth, it's just so elite that it leads me to this question that I love to know from the folks at home and then also from yourself. Because this team is so stacked, because it's so filled with so many great players, who would you list, who would you characterize as the most important player on this team? Is it as simple as picking the best player in Kylian Mbappé? Or is there a man behind the scenes that maybe should get a little bit more credit, like an Antoine Griezmann, for example, who shows up incredibly well for the French team at the international level?
Yeah, and this will most likely be Antoine Griezmann's last Euros. He might make the next one in 4 years' time, but he'll have a completely different role. He's still right at the end of his prime, so his skill level, his technique is still elite, and I think he can have a major impact at this tournament, but I got to go Mbappé, man. His appearances at the last 2 World Cups, they've just been too good, and he shows up every single time. And I mean, getting a hat trick, a historic hat trick in a World Cup final, only done one other time, that's something you just can't ignore. He shows up for when he wears this French jersey, and I think he's going to show up once again. He is France's most important player because let's say Griezmann's having a tough time in the midfield, like he did against Argentina. Let's not forget, Griezmann had a bad finals appearance in last time World Cup. It was Mbappe who ultimately said, all right, I'm going to take this shit into my own hands and get these these goals for my country. And this is the skill set that Mbappe possesses. For me, he's definitively France's best player.
I think that's a great shot. It has to be. I think there's guys like Olivier Giroud who also put in really good performances at the international level, but I would also say this is probably going to be his last Euros as well, man, as he's leaning towards the end of his career. But Mbappe, bro, I think there really is just 3, max 5 players in the world that can change a game by their own volition in the way that Kylian Mbappe does. I think names like Lionel Messi, Neymar at his peak were guys that could do it. I think Mbappe is part of that conversation now with the performance he's put in. He's a historic player in these international tournaments, and I'm excited to see him pop off at this Euros once again, given that the last Euros was a disappointment for himself. Let's go full throttle here now that he's signed with Real Madrid as well. His confidence, his momentum, everything's just going to be looking really good for him going into this tournament. So I think he's going to be incredible. Looking at the midfield and defense for France, what would you say is the weakest point for this team if you're looking to play devil's advocate or looking to take advantage of a weak point in this squad?
I guess who's going to be the center back partner alongside William Saliba is...
That's it? That's it, bro? That's a luxury, man.
It's a hell of a luxury because if you look at right back, you have Jules Koundé, and he's been phenomenal in that position at FC Barcelona. He's one of the best defending right backs. Okay, you're good there. Left back, if you play Theo Hernandez, he's one of the most offensive fullbacks in the world. You're good there. Saliba, well, we know how good he's been with Arsenal, man. He's been one of the best center backs in the Prem. The question really is, who's it going to be right next to him? Honestly, I don't know who Deschamps is going to pick. I mean, he could pick Konate. I think that would be the best shout. It would have been Upamecano, but I don't know, man.
Lived up to it, man.
Yeah, he hasn't lived up to it. No. I think he's had just honestly not a good season at Bayern. Yes, he's had good moments, but he has proven himself to be too mistake prone. If you play Upamecano, you are guaranteeing yourself for him to make a mistake.
Yeah.
So I just think like, all right, that'd be a little sketchy to play him. I don't know. I just think it's Saliba for sure, but then other than that, it gets a little weird.
I think if you have a healthy Konate, you gotta go with Konate, man. I think that'd be just a really good, solid, reliable center back pairing that you have right there for yourself. And this whole team, I think it really is tough to find a weak point, if I'm being honest. I have France going to the final.
Yeah.
I have them going to the final. I have that as their potential, and I could see them very, very easily lifting the title here at the 2024 Euros in Germany. I could see that, man. I really could. I think that's their potential, is tournament champions going into it. I don't need to be convinced after 2 or 3 games and see them like gain chemistry, like how I do at Germany, for example. For France, I know right off the bat they are title contenders, and they'll be one of the favorites to lift the trophy.
Yeah. Truly, form does not matter with this side. I agree with you. I'm applying the same pressure that I'm applying to England. This team is a title contending team. They should go all the way. Minimum, this team should make a semifinals appearance. What I'm really interested to see, though, is that this France team, for as much success as they've seen over these last 10 years, they have not won a Euros, right? They got excruciatingly close in 2016 against Portugal, but they've kind of underwhelmed, right, at 2020. So I think this batch of players recognize, hopefully, that, all right, let's get ourselves a Euros, man. I know Griezmann would love one. I know Mbappe would love one. I know Giroud would love one. Tchouaméni, Adrien Rabiot, all of these players would love to grab themselves a Euro title, man. And I'm hoping that they have a good tournament, but they have to. Their quality's too good. They're going to have a good tournament.
What was the last time they won? I think it was in 2000 with Zidane. I think it was the last time they lifted this tournament. So, yeah, I agree. Like, they have to have this trophy as part of their trophy cabinet to really solidify the greatness and the heights of this French team that we've seen in the past 8 years. It's been so incredible. The World Cup truly represents that, but they do need that continental trophy of the Euros to be able to just maximize their trophy cabinet, for being honest.